Hello everyone. Today's article is titled No Time for Putin. It explores how Donald Trump shortened his ultimatum for Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine. This story raises questions about political pressure, credibility, and diplomacy. Let's pause for a moment before we move into the article. Before we examine what happened, it helps to consider a larger theme that gives us context. This will guide how we understand the story that follows. This brings us to the theme of ultimatums in politics. Leaders sometimes use deadlines or threats to pressure opponents into action. An ultimatum can show strength, but it can also reveal weakness if not enforced. In international affairs, the credibility of such threats often matters more than the threat itself. Ultimatums are not just words, they test trust, reputation, and power on the global stage. Do you think setting strict deadlines makes leaders look strong? Or does it risk damaging their credibility if nothing happens afterward? Ultimatums are double-edged tools in politics. On the one hand, they can demonstrate urgency and resolve, showing that a leader is willing to take action if demands are not met. On the other hand, if the deadline passes without consequences, credibility erodes. Observers may conclude that the leader issues threats only for show, a tactic often called performative brinkmanship. In the long term, repeated ultimatums without follow-through can weaken diplomatic influence. Allies may hesitate to rely on promises, while adversaries may feel emboldened to resist. At the same time, deadlines can sometimes succeed by creating psychological pressure. Even without enforcement, the mere countdown can change calculations, signaling seriousness. The key lies in consistency. When leaders match words with action, ultimatums gain real weight. When words are not backed by deeds, they become noise in an already crowded political arena. Now, to understand this article better, we need to familiarize ourselves with key vocabulary. We'll go over 3 important expressions, learn their meanings, and see them in action with example sentences. Let's start with truncate. It means to shorten something by cutting part of it off. In the article, Trump truncated the ultimatum from 50 days to about 10 or 12 days. Here's an example. The editor truncated the speech to fit it into the program. Next, we have brinkmanship. It refers to the practice of pushing a situation to the edge of disaster in order to gain advantage. Critics said Trump's approach was an act of performative brinkmanship. Here is an example. Cold War politics often involved nuclear brinkmanship. Finally, let's look at bellicose. It means showing a readiness to fight or be aggressive. In the article, Russia was described as a bellicose adversary resisting negotiation. Here is an example. The bellicose speech alarmed neighboring countries. Now that we've explored the main themes in vocabulary, let's reinforce our understanding with a summary dictation exercise. Listen carefully and fill in the blanks. President Donald Trump abruptly shortened his ultimatum for Vladimir Putin to show progress toward ending the war in Ukraine, cutting the deadline from 50 days to just 10 to 12. He accused Russia of repeated violations and threatened steep secondary tariffs on countries buying Russian exports. Critics, however, question his follow-through, citing past unfulfilled threats. While Ukraine welcomed the message, analysts doubt whether the move will pressure Moscow effectively. Let's check the answers and review what each word means. The first answer is abruptly. It means suddenly or unexpectedly. The second answer is ultimatum. It means a final demand or statement of terms. The third answer is steep. It means very high or excessive in amount. The fourth answer is follow-through. It means completing or carrying out an action that was promised. The fifth answer is unfulfilled. It means not carried out or not achieved. Well done, everyone. We've explored Trump's shortened ultimatum, the role of credibility in politics, and the language used to describe diplomatic pressure. This article shows us that threats without action can raise doubts about leadership. So here's a question to reflect on. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone threatened consequences but then failed to follow through? How did that affect your trust? We'll revisit this in our next review session. Until then, keep reflecting and take care.